Hi friends, it's Sarah, the owner and maker by Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're a new viewer, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, big welcome back. I'm glad you guys are here for another episode. So for the first time in weeks, we have sunlight, like blue skies, and it's wonderful. It's a whopping, I don't know my timer going. We are at a whopping, I think 17 degrees Fahrenheit is our high today. So that's cool. And our low is negative, like I think -2 today. So it's definitely chilly. It was originally supposed to be like -20. So that's good. That's a positive, but it's absolutely beautiful out right now. So I have wonderful natural light. There's not really cloud in sight. However, I know there are some clouds in front of our home, and I think they're kind of blocking the sun a little at the moment. So the lighting may kind of get brighter and darker here, but I have my natural light. I do not have my light on at the moment, and I think we'll be okay. It is absolutely beautiful outside. So it's chilly. Don't get me wrong. Like spending time outside right now is brutal. Other than you got to get your vitamin D. You got to go outside when it's sunny, even if it's freezing, which it is. So yes, shop update, end of things. So I've been, as I mentioned before, working on bats, trying to get my inventory up for Michigan Fiber Festival, because that is going to be a very large fiber festival, and I've never done one of those before. It's actually my first fiber festival ever in person, so I'm really excited, but I actually need to get a severe inventory bump. So yeah, so I'm working on that. So that's kind of my focus right now when it comes to the shop update end of things. But if I talk about anything and show you guys anything and you're interested, definitely let me know. I'm happy to put a listing onto the website. Eventually, that's what I will be doing anyway, because anything that doesn't sell at the festival, of course, I will be selling on the website too. So for right now, the website's going to be open, shoppable, and everything. But as we get closer to Michigan Fiber Festival, I will put the shop on like vacation mode. That way, I can't double sell something. I don't want to sell something online and in person. That would be sad. I don't want someone to, because if that happens, the person who buys it in person would be the one purchasing it, and then I don't want to have to refund, just disappoint somebody who purchased online. So as we get closer, I will talk about that, but we have months. It feels weird talking about this like it's tomorrow, but it's not until August. But when it comes to a slow process, hand processing like I do, I really do need to start way in advance. So that's what I've been primarily working on when it comes to the shop end of things. And the banner, which I'm really bummed. Okay, so I talked about this last week, and I mentioned I was really excited because the banner was coming and I wanted to show you guys. And yeah, the banner did arrive, but okay, long and short of it, I ordered a banner and there was a little tweak I wanted to make to it. I literally made the tweak the same day I ordered it, but because of how quickly that company processes things, and because they are like many companies where things get printed here and then the people that receive the messages are here, like in a totally different building, totally different state possibly. Yeah, that's what happened. So wonderful company. I highly recommend them. They sent me my banner, the initial one that I needed to make a tweak to, and but they right away before I would even return anything, they are right away sending me the new one, and so that's actually supposed to arrive today. Again, the day I said I would show you guys. So I couldn't show you because it's not here yet. It's supposed to be here any time now, but it's not here yet. If anything, it will probably arrive as I'm talking to you, and that would be pretty comical. But it's not here right now. If it arrives while I'm talking to you, I will go get it. I'll go get it. Yes. But I don't hear any commotion, so I don't think it's arriving yet. All right, we're going to get into the projects. I have a few works in progress that I worked on, and one is backwards from where it was, and I'll get into that too why that is. It's depressing. But let's start with a win. So I'm going to call this a win because I'm really excited. With all the snow and poor weather, it's been a mess. But I have had some time to work on projects. I don't think I mentioned this in the video, last video, if I didn't. So I had a minor surgery this week, actually, and I'm doing great. I'm on the mend. And it was very minimally invasive, which is excellent. This is more like life update end of things, but because of that, I took some time off of work to recover, because I was supposed to do minimal anything for a couple days. And I was able to get some knitting in. So I have some major progress on this one. This is all hand spun, and it is using hand spun from wool from Supernova Dye Works. It's called Horse Girl Energy. It's 70% merino and then 30% stellina, icicle stellina. And then the other one, so that's this one. I'll show you both. They're connected, so bear with me. But this is the double hat pattern by Suvi Knits. I love this pattern. I love this. I could definitely see myself making multiples of these because it's kind of, I can see, I enjoyed this a lot, and this is not the Muscle Burrow. So the Muscle Burrow hat is, I think, similar-ish construction when it comes to you knit the hat twice, but they're connected. I've never made the Muscle Burrow hat, but it's a big one, a very popular pattern out there. So you knit the top hat, and then you knit the inner portion, and then you stick the inner inside. So that is how this pattern works. And I love it. I love it so much. So the outside one, it's, like I said, it's Horse Girl Energy by Supernova Dye Works. And I had about 150 yards. And I am so excited, you guys. Here, I just need to show you this little bitty blob, like this bitty blob. I wonder if that's even a gram. That's all I have left of that skein. So here it is. So Horse Girl Energy is really beautiful, kind of a rosy pink mauve colorway with that icicle stellina, lots of icicle stellina. If you can't see that in the video, I'd be shocked. It's high on the stellina. I think, didn't they say it's 30%? It's 30%, which obviously every designer, every fiber artist has their own idea of blending, but when it comes to add-ins like stellina, silk, things like that, I tend to not, personally, myself, I would not go over 20, maybe 25 at the most. 20% is kind of my happy place, so I would not go over 20% because it really takes over the yarn. And it's totally fine because I'm using this as an outer layer. I would not necessarily want this against my skin per se. It's just a little rough feeling because that stellina is not really very soft at all, you know? So it looks pretty. It's super sparkly. My husband said it's my sparkly Sarah hat, which I think is cute. So it's very sparkly, but the inside is this beautiful natural wool coloring by Lazy Dog Fiber Arts. It is 75% Romney lamb. Miri is the name of the Romney sheep. 20% Surrey alpaca and 5% silk. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. It's 25% mix-ins. I always look at like the whatever the large percent is usually a wool breed of some kind, or a sheep wool breed, a sheep breed of some kind, and then you add in your mix-in. Obviously, you could do like a llama with a mix-in too, and things like that. But whatever your main breed is, that's your big one. And then what you're mixing in. So they're mixing in the Surrey alpaca and silk as like an additive to the main yarn. And they went with 25% of mix-in. So super soft, really pretty. and that is this one. Hopefully you can see that okay. It's really pretty brown, kind of a hot cocoa colorway, and just gorgeous. Very, very soft. I did 3-ply, and this one's also a 3-ply, but I overplied this or like over twisted it when I applied it. So that has a really high twist in it. It'll be very durable. It's extremely tight, like the knit, because this was a little bit thicker than this hand spun. So this is probably closer to the actual fabric like that you would want, but this is really durable, warm fabric on the top. It's super tight. Like there is no air getting through that. And then you've got the dual layer. It's gonna be so warm. I'm so looking forward to this as a hat to wear this winter, because I will be able to. I'm getting through this quickly. So I just have about 3/4 of an inch left of the interior to knit before I start doing the decreases, which you do for like a couple inches, and then I'll be done. It's just going so fast. I love it. I absolutely love it. And it's just been a pleasure to knit with. Both of them have been nice. The Stellina is a little rough on my hands, but it's hand spun. Hand spun just feels so good to work with, and it's wool. So I have to say, fabulous. Again, this pattern is the double hat, and it's a super easy pattern. It's super easy. If you're looking for a really fun gift knit, super, super easy pattern. It is amazing. I'll include the links below. Literally, the pattern is 2 pages, you guys. 2 pages. Very, very easy. Excellent pattern. So that is the first one that I've been working on a lot. Like I worked on that a lot. The other one that I worked on a lot and failed, I'm going to say failed. And it was my fault. Totally was my fault. I'm going to take a sip of some beverage here, but so it totally was my fault. So I've got this like chungus, like massive ball of acrylic here, and it's 3 like skeins worth of acrylic, and I failed. So I'm working on the Hoodla by Laura Nelkin. Hoodla for my husband, and I made a boo-boo, and it's like it's such a newbie knitter thing to do. And I know I should know better. I really should. And not that I'm an expert, that's for sure. But it's not my first rodeo knitting, and I just started at the hood. I did not knit a swatch. And this Hoodla, she has on the notes, the first note says choosing your yarn. And you can knit your Hoodla in DK, worsted, Aran, or bulky weight yarn. The heavier the yarn, the denser your fabric, and denser and warmer your fabric will be. Yes. And it says the yardage gives the assumption that you are working a casing. So this actually has an option to make like a casing so that you can have a little drawstring in the front if you want. I'm not knitting the one with the drawstring. Anyway, I was knitting along and I decided not to do the swatch, which I should have done because, again, this is definitely bulky weight, but it's definitely around, it's starting to run towards Aran weight. It's pretty heavy bulky. And I was knitting away on it, and I was just cruising. Like, I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, gosh, this is enormous. I wonder how this is going to be constructed. The directions tell you how it's constructed. I looked at the directions. I looked at that. I looked at the gauge, didn't actually check the gauge. That would have been a good idea. You'll find out soon here. So I decided when I was at the point to start decreasing. That's how far I had gotten. So we're talking over halfway through this hood. And I'm like, okay, let's try this on now that I know how it's going to decrease and what's happening, and see how enormous this hood really is, because it looks enormous. And I put it on and I was like, oh, because when I put my head back to the back of the hood, so the way the Hoodla is constructed, yeah, this is where I'm at now. I think I was much further than this last time I showed you guys. The way it's constructed is you work from the center. This looks so weird, but you work from the center down around the sides, and then it joins and works in the circle, in the round. So I put this thing on top of my head, and I put the back, because now I had like, you know, down to here, and I put it on and put my head to the back, and the hood, I kid you guys not. So like, here's my face. This was where the hood ended. It was like, I was like hiding in this thing, and I'm like, oh, you know, I mean, I'm all for being cozy and warm, but this is supposed to be a hood that my husband can go out into the snow and like work outside, and it will protect his face because that portion down below folds up underneath. And what also made sense to me is I was getting nervous because I was on my last skein of yarn and I was working through it. I had worked about a quarter of the way through it, and I had just started the decreases, so I still hadn't done that long neck portion, and so that was a little concerning to me. I'm like, I'm gonna run out of yarn, and how's this possible? Because I knew I had way more yardage than I needed. So I thought that was weird. So that's when I tried on the hood, and I was like, oh. So in other words, I needed to lose about 5 inches of depth for this hood to fit with like just a little, like around your face, like a little bit of a hood. And so we went back to the drawing board, and I did some mathing, because I measured my gauge, you guys, from the hood, like the actual hood itself. And I came to realize I was about 15 stitches when it should be 18 stitches for your gauge. It's a difference. Like, that doesn't seem like a lot of difference, but it is a difference, because when I actually measured the length of my hood, or the depth, I should say the depth from the front to the back of the hood, it should have been around 15.5 inches. And it was more than that. It was a lot more than that. Yeah. So what I decided to do is completely rip it out. That's why I have this massive ball of yarn. I wound it all back up. I completely ripped it out, which was, it was disheartening, because it's acrylic and my hands are not friends anymore, at least not this type of acrylic where it's like this bulky stuff. My hand didn't like it very much, so that was very saddening. And yeah, and when I did my swatch math, and then I started knitting again. So I started knitting with the assumption of the mathing that I did. And the size that I am currently knitting, instead of the size medium large for an adult, I am knitting the size 2 child size. And it should be at 12 inches is the child size. But it's not. It is closer to the 14.5, which is like a small medium adult size. So that size, the small medium, will fit my husband and it will fit me. I was just aiming for the medium large, so you have even more warmth, or like gap, like from the front of your face. But at this point, I was like, let's take a win and have it fit. So when I measured this, like against I took an actual measurement of the length of this once I got 2 rows in, so I could like see the actual length. It measures to 14.5, which is a size small, medium, adult. So I had to knit 2 sizes down from the size I wanted if I wanted to use the same needle size. Like, I could have started messing with needle size as well. I didn't want to go there. But all that's to say, so now I am knitting the child size 2 for my adult husband's head, which is hilarious, like that, but that's how it works. And that's why you have to do your gauge swatch. You really should do a gauge swatch, even for a hood, because I really thought, oh, it won't be a big deal, it's a hood. But unfortunately, you know, her notes, she does have a big section in here about like gauge swatching. But I read her notes. I read the first section. I did not read the gauge swatch information, which I should have. Because she did point you to like, hey, measure it. But when she said, I took her word for it. When she's like, knit your Hudla and DK worsted Aran or bulky weight yarn. The heavier the yarn, the denser and warmer your fabric will be. Yes, that's true. I feel like for someone like me, because I fail apparently not reading everything, I feel like a designer, just by adding the short little sentence, but put it in big capitals, but you must check your gauge swatch if you're using yarn over DK weight. Like if I'm gonna guess her base pattern is like DK weight, so I would so if you're gonna do this pattern, which I do suggest you do, it's a kind of a fun pattern. I would enjoy knitting it a lot more if it was wool, just because of my hands. But I would definitely suggest do a gauge swatch, because if you do anything over DK weight, it could be enormous, because yeah, it doesn't just make your fabric denser, it makes it larger because your stitches are larger. And it totally makes sense. Like from the base level, it makes perfect sense. And I totally knew that, but I did it anyway. And I did a lot of stitches anyway, and I made a big boo-boo. So it was a whole week's worth of knitting, or 2 weeks worth of knitting gone to waste, but it was a learning experience. So I feel like learning experience is never to waste, as long as I don't keep making the same mistakes. That would be the key. All right. So that was the other one that I worked on. And then the other projects that I worked on a bit was my jaunty shawl from Andrea Mowry of Drea Renee Knits. And I finished my first Advent colorway. So this is my Lair the Llama colorway in, what is it called? A Hint of the Holidays. Hint of the Holidays. And then this is my Icelandic from my Multifarious Nature Advent this year, the Fiber Advent. I just finished knitting that. So now I am back onto my A Hint of the Holidays colorway, which is right here. It is definitely a light fingering. It's borderline lace weight yarn is what it is, which is remarkable. I just can't believe it's so fine, but it is. It's so fine. It's 2-ply. If I'd done a 3-ply, it probably would have been a more true like fingering weight, but I love this pattern. I really do. It's nice. It's really nice. Very easy to memorize once you get going. And what's great is it's super customizable. So I have my cute little progress keeper here from my Melly Knits Advent from this past year, 2025. It's so cute. Hopefully you can see that. It's this little, it's like a leaf. It's beaded, a little beaded. And it's a half fisherman's rib, which I really enjoy. It's a lot of fun. It's just really relaxing. And after so many rows, you do an increase. And it's really, really intuitive. And yeah, so the next color that I'm going to be knitting with, once I finish my Lair of the Llama section, I'm going to be using my Shetland. So my Shetland is the next colorway. Beautiful Mooret, dark, dark, dark brown. Super pretty. Love my Shetland. Ooh, yes. These are not our Shetlands, but I do love Shetlands. And I'm actually going to show you their wool here in a second, a couple of them, because it's so pretty. And I've been messing with their wool a little bit here. So yes. So I'm going to be knitting that one up after I finish another section of my Lair of the Llama, A Hint of the Holidays. So it'll be really fun. It's going to be a really nice large shawl. It's going to be a gradual triangle with really long ends, and then you can wrap it around multiple times and tie it. And I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be super cozy, super warm. I've worn my Melly Knits Advent, a Canadian wool Advent from last year, so many times already this year because it's been freaking cold. Like, it's been so cold. So when I go out in the mornings, I'm like wrapping that sucker around my head. It's fabulous. So this, I feel like, is going to be one of those that I can just wrap it around, and it will keep me so cozy warm. All right. So, like I said, I've been messing with our Shetland wool here. I'm like looking around here. Okay. So one of our sheep, I might have talked about it last time. I'm sure I've talked about this because she was a little bugger. Poor little Midge, when she got her haircut the first time, so when I sheared her last year, she was, how old was she? She was young. Yeah, she was scared because she doesn't know any better. She's never been shorn before, so she didn't know what I was doing, and she's like, why are you coming at me with those scissors? What's going on? And she flipped out. And by flipping out, we put her on a harness, or a little, face, it's a harness for their little face, and then you can hook them up so that they don't hurt themselves. But she was flinging herself all over the place. I swear that sheep is a goat. She thinks she's a goat. She is a goat. I don't know. But that sheep is like a goat sheep. We call her that because she jumps up onto things and she acts like a goat. And I mean, she was a bunking bronco. She's up on top of this. We have like a milking stand that my husband built, and we shear them on there because we can then maneuver around them, because I am not even kidding you. I'm not in the physical shape to flip them over. I tried once and it was ridiculous. So we're not going to do that. And we've had great success using the stand. And so we got her up on there and she jumped all over the place. And I was trying my hardest. She's the first sheep I have fully sheared, all the way through. My husband usually helps do half of them. He'll stay on one side, I stay on the other, and we switch off holding them. Well, he had to hold her the entire time because she was crazy and we didn't want her to get hurt. So we would just slowly work my way through. But before we got her up on the stand, like I said, she threw her body all over oh my gosh, all the hay, every single thing you could think of got in her wool. It was a disaster. I was not looking forward to cleaning her wool. I knew it was going to be a problem, but her wool is so soft and beautiful. It's her lamb fleece. So this is all going to make a bunch of racket. This is her lamb fleece and it's a mess. This is much of it. I did take some of it out. Midge is a black Shetland. Sorry, I'm going to make a lot of noise because I got a lot of plastic going on here. So I opened up a large chunk of her wool. And yeah, she's pure black. She's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I have a bat. And there's still some debris in there because I told you she threw herself all over the place. If there was a spot that Midge could get garbage in her wool, that's what she did. So this is a little bat that I made. I'd say it's probably 25-gram bat. I just wanted to mess with it. And yeah, so I'm working with that. That's Midge's fleece. And like I said, she's a black Shetland. So we have I think we have a couple different colors. So we have black, we have brown, a Morit. That's Ginger. So I'll show you Ginger's fleece. This is Ginger's fleece. So Ginger is a Morit. She is also a baby. Now, she's also a mess because that's just the way it goes. But for the most part, her fleece is definitely cleaner. I'm going to, of course, keep picking wool that's right around her neck. So there's all kinds of debris in it. But she has those beautiful, so you guys can see this, those beautiful light, almost blonde looking tips. And then she's, a light, almost milk chocolate brown is her coloring. It's really beautiful. So that's Ginger. So Ginger is our Morit. She's stinking sweet. I call her my pocket sheep. She will literally come up to you and just put her little face under your face. And she'll stand there for a while. I mean, you can just keep rubbing her little chin and she'll just stand there. She loves it. She loves attention. It's really cute. Yeah, so Ginger and Midge are our two newest sheep. They're the babies. And Anita is a... here, let me speak with intelligence. Because like I said, I had a procedure this week, so my brain is gone. It's not working well. I'm getting there. But I mean, I'm sleeping really long time. You can tell my body's been through the ringer a little bit. I swear, I'm okay. It's not the end of the world. Everything's fine. But yes, our coloring. Okay, so yes, black is Midge. Morit is Ginger. We have a... I would love to get an Emisket. I would love an Emisket. I think we have... I don't know if she's considered Emisket or not. It's kind of a gray... Oh, my timer. Whoops. Sorry, guys. I'm going over my 30 minutes. We'll see how it goes. I think we kind of have a... We have a Musket. We have Musket is a colorway. So I want to say Lady is considered gray. But she really, I think, falls closer to a Musket. She's light grayish brown mix fibers, and Amanita is definitely, I think, Miyoget. I know I'm probably not saying that right. But, yeah, that's where they kind of lean. And then light gray is Shanty. Chanterelle is a light gray. So Chanterelle and Lady are twins. And I want to say Lady is a Musket. Yeah. I don't think that's what their birth certificate says. I know Chanterelle's does say light gray. And of course there's more naming involved in that because you have the naming of their color and then you have the naming for their markings. So Shetlands have all kinds of markings and they come in like 11 different colors. There's like a classic 11 colors of Shetlands and then there's markings. And that has to do with like their faces and like speckling and things like that. It's really fascinating. If you have the Fleece and Fiber source book, there is actually like multiple pages on the Shetlands. They're one of the breeds in that source book that actually has like a section. Like they have a section dedicated. Yeah, the naming Shetland colors and patterns. So a couple of our girls are Bursiget. They have patches of different colors. So Chanterelle is a Bursiget. So she has like, when she was a baby, she was white and dark gray like blotches. She's really stinking cute. And now she, you don't see that speckling. You see it on her face, but you don't see it on her body as much. She looks more solid. And her legs are like dark gray. So she's really cute. It's fascinating how they are named. Our Amanita, she has, like, there's a naming for her. I'm really bad at this, you guys. I am really bad at this. We're new to sheep though. We've only had them for 2 years now. So, and not even, I don't think we've even had them a full 2 years. So we're very new to sheep, but I'm trying to think of the correct naming. Yeah, I don't know, but there's like literally a whole page with the naming of the markings. But Amanita has like the eyes that are kind of cream colored and then she has like brown around there. So there's a naming for that. And if I was good at it, I would be able to tell you what that is. But yes, so it's fascinating and they're really fun little characters and their colors are just stunning. Yeah, here's Amanita, her fleece. I have messed with her fleece a lot. This is her first fleece. So the difference, so you guys aren't like, what on earth? Because the two babies had much shorter fleeces. Well, we decided we're going to start shearing them twice a year. So that was after their baby fleece. So they were born with a little wool. And then in September, we sheared them right at the end of September. And that's the growth. This was an entire year's worth of growth for Amanita. So Amanita, we got them. They had their baby fleece. And then it grew out over winter, and then we sheared them. I didn't want to do that again because I did have a bit of, not a lot, but a little bit of felting because it went over winter. But this is Amanita's, so you can see how long it is. So when she was a baby, she was this light brown, and they actually thought that she could be a Morit. Let's see if that's going to focus. Yeah, there you go. So I thought she was going to be a morit, but as it started growing a little further, you could see the gray coming in. So she's actually, I think, an emusket. So she's a brown gray color. And fascinating. So her next fleece, which I don't have in here with me, and you can see it, but like this, the coloring in here almost looks gray, but it's actually like streaks of brown in there. So her second fleece that we shorn, it's in my wool shed right now, is like that. It has like the light brown striping in it. It's fascinating. So when it plies up, it looks, oops, like this. So this is Amanita's wool in a 3-ply. And I don't think I have rabbit in this one. Yeah, this is just Amanita's fleece. This is her spring lamb fleece. So pretty, but it has like a really warm, like a warmth to it. So it's a warm, light brown, gray colorway. It's really beautiful. So that's Amanita. And I hope to have lots of their wool spun up. I'm just busy bee doing lots of different projects, or I would sit here and just spin their wool forever. But that was my little treat this past week with our snowstorm, our literal snowstorm. We've had like 2 snowstorms come through in 2 weeks, like one back to back. We've had like today. The day's not over, but today it has not snowed. And every day otherwise it has snowed, even just a little bit, but it snowed. So today it hasn't, which that's remarkable. It's been about 2 weeks of snow. So I'm really grateful to see the sun. And I'm actually very grateful it's not snowing at the moment. But yeah, that's what I've been messing with. And what else? I think that's it. Oh yeah, I was going to say I did spin up a little of her fleece. So initially I had hand carded Midge's fleece. And when I hand carded it, there were some itty bitty pieces that were in there, and it just kind of made it textural, and it was tricky to spin. And so I did use the drum carder with hopes that that will blend it a little bit more, and I think that the spinning will go a lot better with that. I love drum carding. I feel like it's just amazing, especially if you have shorter fibers in there and you want them to be in there. It gives you the flexibility to be able to do like long draw, and it just looks amazing. So there's that. There's that project that I'm also just futzing with and having fun with. Yeah, I think that's it for this week, but I guess life update end of things. I'll talk about that a little bit. If you're still here and you're here for it, I appreciate it, and thank you. But yes, so life update. Yeah, I had a minor procedure done, and I am feeling good. My recovery is going well. I do have some little things. My IV didn't go so well. I've never encountered this before, but the nurse that gave me an IV had some issues doing that. I don't know if she was having a bad day. It didn't go well. Safe to say, my hand has been bothering me. This is the one she really dug around in trying to give me an IV, and it's quite unpleasant. I don't know if you can see it, and hopefully you can't, but if you can, it's not pretty. About half of my hand is bruised. It's looking a lot better. Like, it was horrific. The day of, I had about half a golf ball size, like, hematoma basically on my hand, and she put a ice pack, which I was grateful for, and she was quick to do that. So that, I think, made a huge difference on my healing. I now have like slope to my hand again, which is great. And I'm starting to be able to see like a shadow of where my veins are, because normally I can see my veins. I am a very pale person. I don't know if you can tell that, but I'm a ghost. Like I look like I don't see the light of day during the winter, especially. And yeah, usually you can see my veins really well. Right now, they're not very happy with me on this hand. Yeah, they're really not happy with me. And I'm still taking pain medication, just like your basic over-the-counter stuff to help with that, and grateful for it. Thank you. But yeah, it's not pleasant. I told my husband, it looks like I got in a fight with somebody, and I actually have a really wicked one on my arm over here too. That looks really gnarly, and but they're getting better. Slowly but surely, and then I will be good. But unfortunately, exercise has kind of become a problem. Well, one, I'm still recovering, so I'm not supposed to do like a lot of exercise. But they did say when I felt up to it, which today I was hoping I could start doing more of my calisthenics again. A lot of that involves like plank and push-ups and things of that nature, which involves my hands going like this. Now, I can do that. But when I put pressure, it's getting better. When I put pressure on this, it's quite uncomfortable because this area up here is very tender still, and it hurts. It really hurts. So I don't want to be doing anything where I'm pushing. And if I'm doing planks or push-ups, I am pushing and I'm putting all of that pressure and weight into my wrist, and that's not going to work, which is a bummer. It's like I said, I've been trying to be good about that. Up until this past week, I was consistently working out at least 2 to 3 days for about a half hour. And it was calisthenics, like doing things like that. It's making a huge difference. My flexibility has gone up. My back pain has gone down, which is amazing. So a lot of it is just because I'm at a desk all day. I just don't change positions. I'm like, like at a desk, staring at a computer, and you start to hunch, and it's just terrible for your back. It's terrible for your back. And so doing scapular push-ups, things like that, it makes an enormous difference on my back. But not doing that this whole week, I can feel that I haven't done that. My back feels kind of and tight. So hopefully soon I can start putting pressure on my hand again. Yeah, because that is no good. It's a disaster. Anyway, that was my bit of a horror story when it comes to my procedure. But otherwise, definitely doing well. So we'll leave it at that. But maybe at some point I'll go into more details, but it's just one of those things that I just really don't want to do right now. But I did want to let you guys know that I am doing okay. And I wanted to let you know about the procedure because I didn't know if I would record today. I just didn't know how I would feel. But I'm grateful. I am feeling really good, other than this little bit of a pain in my rear. But with knitting, your wrist, you don't want your wrist to hurt. It's really put a damper on things a little bit. And after this incident, I was like, my hand, because my hand's been hurting, and I've been trying to make that hood for Dan, and then it didn't fit, and that was a disaster. Anyway, he's told me to stop working on it for a while because he felt bad that it was so big. I mean, it was enormous. Anyway, oh goodness, I'd love to hear what you guys are working on. I'd love to hear what you're up to. I hope you're staying warm, and I hope you have sunlight. Oh my goodness, I hope you have sunlight, because it just makes such a difference. I am someone who gets a little affected by the darkness. I mean, I think a lot of us are, but I have low vitamin D anyway, which is very common. And in the winter, it starts to hit me. So I'm very grateful. And yeah, anyway, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to talk about today. It doesn't sound like my banner got dropped off yet, but hopefully next week I'll be able to show you guys the banner because it looks really cool. I'm really excited about it. My husband helped me make it, and it just, I don't know, it feels very the feeling I want to evoke when it comes to multifarious nature. And yeah, I'm really, really excited about it. And I think you guys will like it too. So that will be used for Michigan Fiber Festival and any other festivals that I participate in. At the moment, that's the only one that I'm doing. It's very close to me. It'll be easy for me to get there. But anyway, yeah. So I hope you guys are doing well, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Take care. Bye.